How are you? Hello! Thank you so much. What a welcome. Hello! Hello, thank you, everyone. Welcome to the Graund Tour, which this week comes to you from the shores of Loch Ness in Scotland. Now, exactly. Now, to most people around the world, Scotland is just a bunch of scenery and Mel Gibson with some paint on his face. But actually, it's a bit more than that. What we have here is a list of all the important things that were invented in America, OK? This is what the Germans came up with. Then we got the English contribution. And then, obviously, let's have a look at what France did. That's it. I'm not making that up.
Actually, and the pencil sharp.
Oh, and the pencil sharp. Oh, I got that. Now let's have a look at the list of things that were invented by Scottish people.
It's just...
It's unbelievable. It's everything. Cordite, clothing, colour photography, percussion cap, golf, lime cordial. I mean, the list goes on and on. Buick.
Hang on a minute. Why is the US Navy on there?
I'm not joking. That was actually invented by a Scottish person. So was the BBC, so was the SAS. All special forces, in fact. And I think I know why. If you are from Mexico or France or Italy, you wake up in the morning, open the curtains, it's a lovely day, think I'll go to the beach. In Scotland, you open the curtains, it's damp and cold, I'll go to the shed and I'll invent something. That's what's going on there.
I'm surprised, actually, the English don't just say that those are British inventions.
Ah, yes, the Andy Murray syndrome. Let's be honest, this does happen a lot. OK, Alexander Graham Bell, when he was working away with his Bakelite and his wires in his shed, he was a Scottish crackpot. When he invented the telephone, he was a British genius. Exactly the same sort of thing happens with sport, motor racing. Jackie Stewart, 3 times Formula 1 world champion. OK, he's British. Jim Clark, 2 times Formula 1 world champion. British. David Coulthard, Scottish. That's how it works. That's how it works.
It is.
Maybe we should explain to people in America what's going on here.
Yeah, exactly. Let me just clear this up for you. This is how it works on this side of the pond, OK? This is Britain. Now, this bit is England, where we're from.
Yeah.
This bit's Scotland, where we are now. This bit's Wales, which is next to where I live.
Yes,
That's how
exactly.
it works.
Now, the rules are very simple. If you're English and you become brilliant or do something brilliant, you remain English. If you're Scottish or Welsh and you do something brilliant, the English decide that you are, in fact, British.
Yeah.
The English really are appalling, aren't they? Let's just get on the same page.
I tell you what, I love being in Scotland because everyone here speaks their mind. There's no ambiguity. There's the town of Larkhall in Scotland, their welcome sign. Here we go. Yeah. This is Scotland. It's not just words either, it's actions. You remember that terrorist attack at Glasgow Airport a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
OK, so somebody tried to explode, bomb didn't go off, he ran off and he didn't get very far because this happened. Well, it's the Scottish way. That is the Scottish way. And, interestingly, there have been no terrorist attacks in Scotland since.
Just thinking about that for a second, when he kicked him, he must have broken his foot on the other guy's pelvis.
Yeah.
Which means the guy's plums were in the middle of the impact. It just... that's how
When
it
that
works.
terrorist woke up that morning, he must have thought, right, the worst thing that's going to happen to me today is I'm going to blow up.
It wasn't, though, was
No,
it?
it wasn't.
No, because the only thing to explode that day was his knackers.
Oh, God. Can we get on with this show, please?
Yes, good idea, because in tonight's car programme, I urinate on an engine. Richard wears an anorak. And James takes drugs.
But first, I want to talk about Fiat. They're mostly known these days for the 500, which is a small retro hatchback. But after an absence of more than a decade, they are back in the sports car game. So I went down to the Ebola-drome to check out what they've come up with. here it is. And as with the 500, you can tell straight away that Fiat are playing the nostalgia card. Because this car is called the 124 Spider, in honor of their rear-wheel drive roadster from the 70s. Under the skin, though, the 124 is based on the thoroughly modern Mazda MX-5. Fiat supplies some important things like the engine and the body, but both cars are built on the same production line in Japan. On the surface, that is no bad thing. I mean, you're going to sleep a lot better at night knowing that your Italian car was actually put together by the Japanese. However, it does raise a question. Is that a sports car in its own right, or just a Mazda with a different badge on it? Well, before we find out, let's look a bit more closely at the badge, because you'll notice it says Abarth. Abarth are Fiat's go-to people when they want to light a fire under one of their cars. Well, not light an actual fire, but give what's already there some extra zest and zing and fire. For starters, Abarth has tuned the 1.4-litre turbocharged engine so that this, the hottest 124, is faster than any MX-5. 0 to 60 takes 6.8 seconds. And the top speed is 145 miles an hour. But in a car like this, that feels like 145 million. Certainly bundles for me. And it's not just performance where the 124 has the edge over its Japanese half-brother. I have to admit, and this comes from someone who struggles to find fault with the MX-5, the 124 does sound better. Abarth have given it something called the Record Monza exhaust system. What it does is make a small car produce a big car noise. It's like a cat in a lion suit, and that's exactly the sort of panto you want. What I'm saying here is that this car does its own thing. It has its own personality, and that's important. But on the next point, the 124 does take a bit of a body blow. You see, there's a price to pay for all this Abarthness, and that price is £30,000, £5,000 more than the top MX-5. That said, the 124 does give you more under the skin, most notably in the handling department. The thing is, Abarth have given this car a limited slip diff, which makes sliding something you command. The MX-5 doesn't have that. Neither does it have this sport button here, which relaxes the stability control quite a lot. So, what we have here is a car that's fast, sounds good, and is great fun in the corners. But there's something else very important about the 124. I don't know that there's really a million miles of difference between this and the MX-5. But everything I do in this car, I'm doing in an Italian sports car. And it is impossible for that not to put you in a good mood. It does feel so good to be in a small Italian roadster again. It's about time. Everything about this little Fiat is designed to stir the emotions and make you smile like a child. Right down to the retro black bonnet. God, I love a black bonnet. It just, ooh. It's a black bonnet. Only cool cars had black bonnets. Fact. I really like the MX-5. But the 124 has taken those Japanese foundations and added some Italian showmanship. That's why I'd have it over the Mazda. I don't just like it, I love it.
It's interesting that, because, as you know, I'm a sucker for an Italian sports car.
Yeah.
Love them to bits, especially the Alfa. However, I've driven an ordinary cooking Fiat 124, and that is not as good as an MX-5, not even close.
No, that's true. You'd be better off with the MX-5, unless you want the fastest MX-5, in which case, buy the Abarth.
Quite.
Have we just done consumer advice?
Little bit. We'll move it on
Feels
quickly.
weird.
Yes, we will move it on, and we'll find out how fast the Abarth goes round the Bolodrome. That, of course, means handing it over to a man who thinks that beards were invented by Lenin. Yep, it's the American. There he is, poised and ready. And he's off with a skitter of wheel spin and a fruity noise from the exhaust. Straight on to a soaking wet isn't straight.
What the hell has happened in my life that I'm over here driving a Fiat in the wet in England?
He may not be enjoying it, but he is very good at it as he carves the 124 through the standing water, making the best use of its 170 horsepower. Really leaning on it as he approaches your name here. That is ballsy. Now, heavy on the brakes, swoops around this fast left-hander and exits with a skillful flurry of stylish oversteer. Back onto the isn't.
Hell, I don't know whether to drive this thing or use it for a spit cup.
Charming. Nerds will note these conditions would be better suited to a Barchetta.
If you like this car, I bet you got a lot of fancy cushions in your house.
Yeah, because as we know, cushions are, of course, communist. Right, into the tight complex of Old Lady's house, keeping it nice and tidy through there. And now full power for the lumpy, bumpy sprint down to Substation. Front hazards coming on under hard braking. All Fiats do that for some reason. Armful of opposite lock into field of sheep. More exuberance through there and across the line. He was hanging that out. That was a ballsy entry into your name here, that was. It really was. Anyway, we must now find out where it ends up on the board. Let's have a look. Oh, dear. Oh, dear, Hammond. So you've recommended what is officially the slowest car in the world.
Well, no, slowest car on our board.
Our board is the world.
It is.
All right, look, it was wet.
That lake's wet. Someone once did 200 miles an hour on that.
And?
Well, then they were killed, I admit, but...
Yeah, quite. So let's move on. It's time now for us to take a gentle cruise down the velvety smoothness of Conversation Street.
That really hurt.
It did.
Just to be absolutely clear with you, that really, really hurt.
Yeah. It was supposed to be a pretend bottle.
Anyway, let's move it on.
Yes, I would like to converse about something very important. Why is it that we have leather seats in cars? Because in reality, it's a terrible material. I mean, it's too shiny and slippery, and it's too hot or it's too cold. It's rubbish.
No, I know. But I think it's because we got hung up on the idea, didn't we, that leather is somehow posh on a car seat. But it didn't used to be like that. In the old days, the posh people sat in the back of the car on cloth seats, and it was the chauffeur, the driver, sitting at the front that gave him leather because it's hard wearing. I've got a picture here of an old car. Look, they didn't even extend the roof to cover it. Just another 3 feet would have done it. And I think that's deliberate. I think that's to remind him that he's scum.
Yeah. What would you two like to have instead of leather?
Well, there's all sorts of things you could use. You could have cable knit, wool. Well, which is... But it's nice, it's cosy. I'm just
Lovely.
desperately looking around. I mean, his jumper would make quite a good car seat.
Yeah, be
It's
cosy.
nylon. It is, or pleblon, one of the two.
That's a good idea.
It isn't
These
a
are
good idea.
It's right.
It isn't. Or, how's this for an idea? Let me just throw it out there. Why not take a cow, turn the middle of it into burgers and steaks, and then instead of throwing the skin away, use it to cover the seats of your car?
Because it's a terrible material and it doesn't work.
That's only because you two have decided to be vegetarians.
Well, no, hang on.
No, they have.
Well,
they
a bit.
actually have. They woke
That-
up together one morning and went, let's not eat meat anymore.
OK, we didn't wake up together one morning and just...
Just be absolutely clear on
It's a
that.
fine
They
definition.
mysteriously arrived at the same conclusion at pretty much the same day.
Anyway, we still eat chicken.
Yep, and chicken is a vegetable.
Well, it isn't.
No, it
Is it?
is. Scientifically, chicken is a vegetable. If you cut a chicken's head off, it still runs around,
There you go.
thereby proving it's not a sentient being, it's a higher order vegetable.
It's a vegetable.
Scientifically, it is.
OK, then, well, we'll make the seats in your cars out of chicken skins. Actually, that's not a bad idea.
Wouldn't a chicken skin seat just look like a giant scrotum?
Yes, and that's your fault for not eating meat. So now let's move on, shall we? I've got something. Back in the 1920s, OK, a Scottish company made a car which they said was for women. Got a picture of it here. It's called the Galloway.
Yeah, but what about that car makes it for women? It's just
Well,
a
they
car.
said that it had a smaller than usual steering wheel and a more reliable engine.
Oh, yeah, of course, because men don't want a reliable engine, do they? It's only
I
women.
hate reliable engine. Also, you could drive it standing up, which is what women did in the 1920s. This sort of thing is still going on today, actually, because I've got news of one here. A car that's been launched called the Seat Mii Cosmopolitan. We have a picture of it. There you go.
Sorry, how do you spell me?
M-I-I.
It is me.
It is a Mii. It's
It's
been done
these days. I've got a me.
Well, it's been done in collaboration with Cosmopolitan magazine. It's aimed at Cosmo Girl, it says. And, are you ready? The headlights have an eyeliner shape.
No, they don't.
It's easy to park.
Oh, yeah, because I much prefer a car that's hard to park because I'm a man.
Can we just get, can we get something clear here, OK? This gender splitting of cars is ridiculous. It's like saying, oh, well, a woman's airline seat or a woman's matches or a woman's anything.
Hello, can I buy a box of women's pencils, please?
Exactly.
It's the same.
Exactly. The only things I can think of that can be split by gender are bicycles, because of the crossbar,
Oh, yeah.
and underwear.
Sometimes, yeah.
Overshare?
No, I said that. I left in a hurry.
It is, honestly, I just can't understand why people think there's such a thing as a woman's car and a man's car.
No, it's ridiculous. It's not as if you drive cars with your old chap or your magic triangle. It's ridiculous. But then there's there is. Listen.
It's a little graphic.
But a few years ago, Volvo did a concept car and they boasted very loudly that the whole thing had been designed entirely by women. OK, and I've got a picture of it. It's a coupe with gull-wing doors and a massive engine.
So everyone would do.
I would definitely have done that.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. Men and women are exactly the same when it comes to cars.
Yes.
The end.
Exactly.
Right, now, you know Tesla? Tesla believes it's pioneering the electric car, but that ain't so. There was a Scottish company back in the 60s, made an electric car. I've got a picture of it here.
Oh, God.
It's called the Scamp, OK? It had a top speed of 35 miles an hour, a range of 20 miles, and I want to make it absolutely plain, that's Scottish, not British.
It is, yeah. Very definitely. Yeah, that is Scottish.
I think we can end Conversation Street there. Right, now, all over the world, people, by and large, buy very boring cars. I met a man yesterday who just spent £8,000 on a 5-year-old Ford Focus. And I thought, why did you do that? If you've got £8,000 to spend, why didn't you buy a used Maserati?
And I think it's because people believe if you buy a used exotic Italian car for £8,000, it's going to break down all the time.
Yes, but will it? To find out, we actually put our own money on the line and we each went out and bought a second-hand Maserati.
Yes, and then we decided that cars this glamorous and this exciting couldn't possibly be tested in Britain. So we decided to meet up in continental Europe. This is the racetrack we selected. It's just 60 miles from Calais and I arrived bright and early. This is a Maserati bi-turbo. First car in the world to be fitted with 2 turbochargers. And this particular example is the sought-after S model, and it's only done 24,000 miles. And yet, despite that, all I paid for it was £7,950. So you get all this glamour, all this power, all that badge for less than you pay in the UK for a 6-year-old Toyota Pius. Oh. Why has Richard Hammond arrived in a Ford Cortina? Oh, no, wait, it isn't a Ford Cortina. It's another bi-turbo.
No, this is the 430.
It isn't.
It is.
Bi-turbo.
This isn't a bi-turbo.
It is.
That's a bi-turbo.
Hammond, I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but the Ghibli, the Racing, the Carif, the Shamal, the 222 and the 430, they were all the same car. They haven't got any money. They just changed the name badge on the back. These are the same car. Yours is very ugly, but it's the same car.
I dispute that. This is not ugly, this is elegant. This is Italian style.
It isn't.
That is a
Mighty
fabulous looking thing. Let's have a look at this. What have you got? It's a bit gaudy, mate.
You want to hear this baby fire up?
Get out! Save yourself!
Yes! Feel the power of that!
Have you seen all this? There's no other word for it. Oil.
Yeah, Yeah.
Yeah.
Happily, before any more could flood out, James arrived.
Have you ever seen a more ungainly looking machine? What's the matter? Is your door broken?
No, I'm broken. Can you hold the door for me? Thank you. Behold, the Maserati Zagato Spider.
No, bi-turbo, mate.
No, it's a Zagato
It is
Spider.
all bi-turbos. See, I think this was designed when it was owned by Citroën, which was bankrupt at the time. Then there was some guy in America who had a bit of Maserati. And then I think the Italian government or Fiat, they all sort of had bits of it.
Right.
And they just ran around going, we made a new car, look. And it was exactly the same as the last car, just had a new name. Excuse me, James. So, I just want to see just... Oh, you've got like 2-tone leather. But why have you got an automatic?
I've bust my arm. That's why it took a long time to get out.
You really broken your arm?
Which arm have you broken?
It has made me murderously bad-tempered and intolerant of your fatuousness.
Have you
both of
seriously
you.
broken your arm?
Well, it's fractured quite badly. Don't touch it.
How did you break
I
it?
fell over.
Anyway, that's why you got an automatic?
Yes.
Is that roof electric?
No.
Hang on, no, there's a little button on the front.
Oh, right, brilliant. So it is manual.
Yes.
Anyway, well, let's get off. Come on, let's drive on.
Can you put the roof back up for me?
No, I'm not doing that.
We decided first of all to have a drag race between our cars and a similarly priced modern car, the Suzuki Celery.
Tense moment. Yes.
Sadly, however, the pit straight was too narrow for our 4 cars.
What are you doing?
Haven't you, idiot?
You crashed into my Maserati.
You crashed into mine, got nowhere to go. There's a barrier there.
Well, there was nowhere for me to go. I was where I was.
So, for the second attempt, I volunteered to go down the pit lane. Yes, this is genius. And that didn't work either.
Re-emerging on the track. Hammond is there.
What the hell? What?
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Oh.
Why the hell can't we just do a drag race properly? It can't be that difficult.
After this latest accident, we decided that as Hammond's car had the biggest engine, he'd represent Maserati's honour on his own.
Okay, this is it. I am the elected driver. The chosen one. The kingpin. I like that. Oh, a massive amount of leaping about. But then, finally, it spools up. Turbo's whizzing away. And yes, absolutely creamed it. Yep, they were right to pick me. And the car, the 430 Maserati.
Right, now you've established that as a team, our twin turbocharged Maseratis are faster than a 67 horsepower Celery. Let's get rid of the little Japanese car and find out which of our three cars is the fastest round the track.
Yeah.
We'll be driving Maseratis on a racetrack in continental Europe.
It just sounds good, doesn't it?
What's the matter with you? Why do you look so miserable?
I've broken my arm. Well, but if we're going to drive round a track, can I at least have one of those disabled knob things? You know.
Like on the steering wheel?
Yeah, like a forklift truck has
That
one.
sounds fair
you know.
enough.
So, whilst our colleague enjoyed his special breakfast, Richard and I attached his steering knob.
There you go.
And then we hit the track.
The roots of this car, well, they were planted during the 1957 German Grand Prix. Fangio, at the wheel of his Maserati 250F, overcame a 48-second deficit in 22 laps to win the race. He smashed the lap record 10 times. You don't lose a pedigree like that. Here we go. Feel the tail kick out a little bit. Or the front go. There's the back. On the front. Oh, God. I've got it.
Wow, flying laps in a Maserati. This is exactly what Sterling Moss did. Not exactly, and bits of it are.
Meanwhile, in the convertible, James was very unhappy with his new steering knob.
Oh, God, it's the left-hander. Bend the knob. What is the matter with those two?
We're okay, we're in good shape. But not.
Despite my lucky dip handling, I did eventually catch Hammond.
Take him on the inside. Yes. Yes. No! Dog! Oh no, oh God, Struth. He's going sorely now. Jesus. He just has too many horsepowers here. Come on! Oh shit.
Mr. Clarkson is indisposed briefly.
And moments later, so was Mr. Hammond.
No! Come on!
So, having learned absolutely nothing at all, we decided to abandon the racetrack and embark on a 700-mile cruise to the south of France. James was very pleased with this plan.
This is more like it, isn't it? Not mucking around on a racetrack, which is always a bad idea in old cars. Now we're going on a proper road trip to a lovely part of the world in very, very evocative, exotic cars. Maserati.
In the 1970s, Maserati was naming all its cars after exotic-sounding warm winds. Mistral, Camsin, Bora. When I was a kid growing up in Doncaster, I just thought, I've no idea what a Mistral is, but I want one.
Maserati, south of France. It just sounds right.
However, fairly soon, reality began to stick its unwelcome nose into the equation.
I can get no heat in here and I can't demist at all. The brakes, It brakes one wheel very well, but only one wheel at a time, and you never know which one. James, are my lights dazzling you?
Yeah, a bit.
That's because they seem to be on main beam, but I can't dip them.
Interesting thing is, if I put my headlights on full beam, nobody coming the other way flashes at me.
You hear that rattling? That's the steering wheel.
On top of the mechanical issues, there was the problem of James tackling the toll booths in his right-hand drive car.
We've got 700 miles to go. It's going to take us forever at this speed.
And then, to cap it all,
Jeremy, there are sparks coming from under your car. I think you probably need to stop. Oh, look.
Something's on fire. Fire. Right, don't have to piss on it.
Oh, no.
Well, if you go round there.
It's going to claim to be an emergency service now.
annoyingly, our road trip wasn't proving to be as stylish as we'd hoped. So, at the next petrol stop, with James failing to appreciate a present we'd bought for him...
You used to have a good sense of humour.
I do have a good sense of humour when you're being funny, which you are sometimes.
I suggested a new idea.
Listen, I've had a thought. South of France is a very long way away, so why don't we go to the north of France instead?
Yes.
That is a good idea.
And there's so much more to see and do in the north of France than there is in the south of France.
Yes. What is there to see and do in the north of France?
Well, there's the immigrant camp in Calais. There's that square where they set fire to a woman.
Yes. There'll be other stuff. There will be other stuff.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you. We'll pick that up later on, but now it's time to play Celebrity Brain Crash.
Yeah, it's still terrible.
It's finished
Awful.
now. OK, now, what can we say about our guest this week? He's Scottish, but he won a gold medal at the Olympics, so, of course, he's British. He started out in cycling, then very wisely took up motor racing, actually competed at Le Mans. But today he's in a boat. Ladies and gentlemen, Sir Chris Hoy! There he is. There he is.
It's going to be all right.
He's rowing it the wrong way round. And the great thing is, whoa, everyone, the great thing is that Loch Ness is a peaceful inland lake with no hazards at all. We may finally get a guest to the studio.
Yeah, that'd be
Come
great.
on.
Get him in unharmed. Just,
Come on, Sir Hoy.
Come on.
Come on,
Just
you
paddle.
can do
You
it.
can do it. Oh, my... What happened? How? I mean, what?
OK, ladies and gentlemen, you've just applauded the tragic death of Sir Hoy. No idea. I think he must have hit a mine. And there was a terrific explosion. You may have seen it. And he's now... Well, he's gone, hasn't he?
Does that mean he's not coming on, then?
Well, James, he's exploded and been reduced to chops and offal. So that is a no.
It's OK, then. I've got a backup plan. You know, voice activation systems in cars, they don't really work. Particularly, they don't work in Scotland. As we shall now demonstrate with a short clip of a man trying to pair his telephone with his Vauxhall.
Pair.
You can say pair, select device, voice feedback, help, or cancel.
Pair.
You can say pair, select device,
Fucking said pair.
or cancel.
Pair.
You can say pair, select device, voice feedback, help, or cancel.
Pair.
Pardon?
What I really love about this guy is how long he perseveres for. What's this?
Pair.
Do you want to add or delete a device?
Yes! Add a device.
Pardon?
Add a device.
Using the pair function in the external device.
Yeah!
Brilliant. It's brilliant. Anyway, that is the problem. That is the problem. But Hammond, I have a solution, OK? No, don't scoff, don't scoff. This is a system that is cheap, it works anywhere in the world, and you can fit it to any car, no matter how old it is. Let me show you how it works, OK? Step in. Ready? Voice activation. Engage wipers.
It's just a man.
It's Gavril from Bulgaria. And you can do anything. Right, select drive. There you go. Call Bellend. Now, he picks up the phone, he does all the dialing, my hands are on the wheel, I'm safe, then he holds it next to my ear so it's hands-free.
Who's Bellend?
What?
I don't want to talk to you. End call.
All right, then. Punch driver. Punch, it doesn't work.
He won't respond to you, only me. That's the genius. And gets better. Get out, OK? He locks the doors, and then he opens them when I get back, so I don't have to have any keys with me, which would spoil the line of my jean trouser.
Let me just recap this, OK? So in Whitby, you turned a Romanian man into a self-driving car.
Yes, I did.
You turned me into a parking sensor, and now you've turned a Bulgarian man into a voice control system.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a theme establishing itself here with your inventions, and it is that you're a moron.
Aha, OK, watch this. You know, in a modern BMW 7 Series, you can have back seats that massage you as you drive along, yes?
Yes.
What I've done in here, it's just genius. I have scooped out the middle of that back seat, OK? And then you can fit it with a Duan Fen.
What's a Duan Fen?
Well, she's here. She's from Thailand. I don't know why people are laughing at this. She now blends perfectly with the seat, OK? She is the seat. So I step in, like so. Yeah. And then I get a massage as I drive along. Ooh. Oh,
James! James is sitting on a Thai woman now.
No, I know. Just come back over here, we'll move it on. We'll go back to the Maserati film. Now, so far we have established that I've broken my arm, but that the cars are working really rather well.
Yes, and we rejoin the action after a night in a town called Deauville, where Jeremy had, for reasons known only to himself, decided to reenact the famous VW Golf adverts from the 80s.
This is the man who put 1 million on black, and it came up red. This is the man who married a sex kitten, just as she turned into a cat. This is the man who moved into gold, just as the clever money moved out. This is the man who drives a Maserati.
Start, you vicious bastard!
Of course, being a Maserati, it did eventually begin. So we then fitted James's wheel with a new knob and decided to go and play on the beach.
You really would have trouble doing this on a beach in the south of France because the whole thing would be covered
in people turning their plastic surgery brown.
In the sea! Whoa! Oh! And a great thing is, of course, you can take a Maserati in the sea because the rust-proofing is so good.
After that, we enjoyed a picturesque walk and a philosophical debate.
Is there anything on Earth which is worse than having another man put sun cream on your back?
I've never experienced that.
And then we played some sport.
Penalty shootout in Maseratis on a beach in northern France.
With our ball gone, we continued on our tour of Normandy, with our badly built colleague moaning constantly.
Hey! Has he been swapped for an old lady?
He's always been an old lady. He was born an old lady. Congratulations, Mrs. May, it's an old lady.
As darkness fell, we reached the ancient town of Honfleur, where we decided to spend the night. Unfortunately, to reach our hotel, we had to navigate through a maze of tiny, medieval streets.
Pardon, sorry.
This is narrow. Isn't it narrow?
No. How did people manage in this town in the olden days when nobody had power steering?
Oh, no. And I do that how? Oh, my God.
I'm totally stuck. Ow, 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 ow.
Cobbles?
God almighty.
Gee, I'm not sure that's possible.
Oh, for Christ, is that...
You're in the way.
Isn't this a one-way street my way?
It's a one-way street, yes. That's why me and the other cars are all coming this way.
Please don't make me back up with this steering.
Sorry, come on, it's a workout.
Hammond, I am going to kill you.
Maman, s'il vous plaît. Mon ami, il a conduit son voiture comme la gorille. Vous devrez le jambon. Prenez la rue à gauche et nous sommes les champignons.
With Jeremy out of the way, I could move on. But then,
Hammond, is that you with yellow lights coming up here?
Oh, my God. Well, that's a bit of bad luck. You're going to have to reverse back up there, aren't you?
Well, I can't back up because it's preposterously narrow and I can't swivel my head round to look behind me. So now what?
Well, I'm going the right way down the one-way street, so I have right of way.
Right, sorry, Hammond, you'll have to direct me a bit.
Right a bit.
My right or your right?
Well, my right, which is your left, but you're steering in reverse.
Hey, hold it there and I'll go there left.
Your left or my left?
Your right, my left as I'm looking, and your right as you're looking, i.e. your right.
I had found the hotel, but clearly my colleagues were going to be a while.
By the way, when you say my left, do you mean my left if I'm facing the way I'm going or facing the way I'm facing?
Good point. Your left is still my right, but you're going backwards. Just drive backwards.
I'm going to the hotel now, but I'll leave this on so you can stay in tune with what they're doing.
Okay, hopefully that I've come the wrong way down a one-way street, I know.
Are you making your situation better or worse? Better, worse. Better, worse.
When Richard and James did finally join me, we reflected over dinner about our time in the north of France.
It's been just a tremendous journey. We've had 3 Maseratis out here for 3 days. We've only had one minor fire.
can I just say
And I'm being absolutely honest here. I love my Maserati. I've totally fallen for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I really like mine. No car makes a better noise. No 2-litre car makes a better noise than that.
I love it more now than when I started.
I definitely want to keep mine. I want to know what it's like to drive with 2 arms. Because it might be...
Because we all loved our cars so much, I decided we should end our road trip with a spicy climax.
Why don't we race back to England, OK? First thing in the morning. Last one back there has to sell their car.
Ooh, that's cruel.
That's harsh. It's not entirely fair on me, is it?
Hello, why not?
You chose to come equipped with 1 arm. It's your issue, not ours. So we set off from here all at the same time.
Any route you like. Last one back on English soil has to sell their car.
I'm up for it. I'll risk it, because I think that'll make the trip home exciting. I'll do it. Last one home.
As dawn broke, we lined up outside the hotel, ready for the off.
Gentlemen, it's 10 to 4 in the morning. Let's do this. In 3, 2, 1. Begin! Last! Come on! No, no!
At all costs, I am winning this.
This is typical of Italian cars. They wait until you really need them, and then they go wrong. Hello, darling, I'm in labour. Quickly. Yes, I'm on my way in my Maserati.
Right. Up here. Some of this is familiar, which is bad. Oh, no, not lost now.
Once again, I'd managed to coax my car into some kind of life, and I was on my way.
So straight out of town. Sounding healthy.
With a top speed of about 12, I was headed for the ferry port of Le Havre. The trouble is that, logically, the others would be doing the same thing.
Car, clear your throat, please.
I'm out. Right, England, here I come.
Clear your throat, car, clear it, or we shall be last. And then I shall have to sell you, and I won't sell you to someone nice. You know that man who has sex with his cars and then puts pictures of it on the internet? Well, I'm going to sell you to him, unless you get going. Now, come on.
Hang on a minute.
No, 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 no.
Big road, yes.
James, meanwhile, was dawdling along at the back, yet he seemed strangely unconcerned about this.
Now, on the face of it, viewers, this isn't much of a race because I've got the slowest car, we already know that. I only have the use of 1 arm and I'm steering with a squeaky frog bolted to the wheel. However, it's not that simple. In fact, I believe I will be first because he who is last shall be first, as we know.
Coming up now to the motorway. Come on, car, please. It's made it up the slip road. Have you ever known a car with more spirit than this magnificent Maserati?
However, the gradient on the slip road was nothing compared to what lay ahead.
Oh, my giddy old.
Port, where is it? If I get there first, okay, I've got to wait for the ferry. They could catch up, but I'll be ahead of them in the queue. Whoever gets on the boat first gets off the boat first, and you can't change that. First on the boat is first off the boat. They win.
Calm, Jeremy, calm. You're on a motorway. On an enormous bridge surrounded by many heavy lorries. Oh no, I can hear the exhaust spluttering. Oh, smoke, a lot of smoke now. Please work.
Mercifully, I reached the top of the bridge. But then...
It's dead. Shit, I've lost braking. I have lost braking. Oh, bloody hell. Handbrake not working either. I've lost all brakes.
there was only one thing for it.
I have no brakes.
You've just hit our car.
I know, but I haven't got any brakes. They're not pleased about being used as a brake. This is totally legal, by the way, on a French motorway. Right, so I've no brakes and no engine. Think, Jeremy, think.
Port. Yes, hello. Unaware of Jeremy's problems, I was keeping the hammer down. Holiday makers. I hate holiday makers. Trucks. I'm gonna get caught up with all the trucks. Meanwhile, back in the land of Captain Cryptic.
Do you know, I'm so relaxed about this, I think in a short while I might stop for a pleasant coffee and a read of the newspaper.
Not got time for you, mate, I'm sorry. Car! Car! Oh, God. Another roundabout. It's not in the middle of bloody town. I need to find my own route. There must be sneaky ways through. This could be good, this could be good. Down there. Oh. Dead end. Not that way. Bloody hell. My shortcut wasn't going well. Where are they? And more importantly, where am I? This was a mistake. This is making things worse. It's just costing time. And as it turned out, time was something I didn't have.
I am now down to one turbocharger, but I'm back in the race. Yes, I'm at the wheel of a Renault DCI 120 tow truck.
And what's more, I decided to head for the port as the crow flies.
Oh, yes.
Oh, God, no! This looks good. Yes, ferry terminal. This is all correct. That is Jeremy.
There's Hammond!
What is he doing?
Kill him!
I have to win, I have to win. Roundabout. Oh, bloody hell, really now? The problem was that the port of Le Havre is so vast and so complex, it was very easy to get lost. This was still anyone's race.
Where is Hammond? Where is May? Where is the boat?
Come on, come on, come on.
This is wrong. This is wrong.
It's got to be down here. Yes.
Did I have some carpet stuck under the throttle? Because my DC 120 is going like a bastard.
Yes. This looks good. This is the place.
Good van, good van. The boat is there. There is Richard Hammond. Is James May here? No, he is not. He is not. Yes! Ha ha! No May?
No, and there wouldn't be because I was in another part of the port with my own travel plans.
Last night, after the other two had gone to bed, I arranged for our company yacht to be waiting for me in the harbour. And there it is. I simply drive up, hop aboard, and then we'll be on our way.
He lived, annoyingly.
Hang on, hold on, Hammond.
What?
I need to ask you about this. Why did you stick déshabillé on my car?
Because you were disabled.
Déshabillé means undressed, you moron. Yeah.
Look, let's not get bogged down with who can't speak French. Let's get to the point, which is, James May, you lost and you broke the company yacht.
You did.
Well, no, hang on a minute. My car got closer to England than yours did.
Yes, but the other thing it got closest to was the bottom of the sea.
Yes, look, anyway, all of that is irrelevant because my car was the best because it didn't go wrong at all.
No, mine was perfectly reliable, Hammond.
Mine was as reliable as James's arms. And the extraordinary thing is, no one can work out what was wrong with it.
Well, it fell off the back of a lorry.
No one can work out what fault it had that caused it to be on the lorry in the first place. And even now, what are we, 9 months down the line? 2 trained Maserati mechanics are totally stumped. It is an unfathomable fault.
Yeah. So, what we can conclude from our exhaustive testing in the north of France is that if you buy a used Maserati, you have a 66% chance of it working.
They're not bad odds.
Well, you wouldn't say that if you were having an eye operation, would you?
Exactly, and on that terrible disappointment, it's time to end. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.